Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. This is Mike. I'm here to talk to you very briefly about a film that I saw yesterday at the theater. I actually went out to the theater again, the first time since probably January, and this is the first movie I've seen made in or released in 2022. So, all right, let's see if I can pick up my enthusiasm a little bit and go out a little bit more. But this movie is Father Stu. It's the film that stars Mark Wahlberg, who also co-produced the film, directed by a woman named Rosalind Ross. Okay? Now, this is based on a true character, true happenings, and as far as the veracity of the comparison between the real life events and the cinematic story, I really don't know. So I guess I'll investigate and find out. But so I don't want to give too many details and spoilers away because it's a very good film. I think it's worthwhile, and I would like to encourage people to see it and experience all the surprises and twists and turns in this man's life. So, Stuart Long was a guy born in 1963. He came from a very working class family, attended college as a football player, and later on in life had a lot of struggles. He became a boxer for a while and had to retire because he was not doing well. He was injured, and he eventually went out to California to try his luck in films. He decided he could be a movie star. Failing to come up with an idea to do anything else, he thought he would try to get into the movies, right? So while he was out there, he met a young woman and sort of pursued her and found out that she was a very serious practicing Catholic. So he, in order to become acceptable to her and to her family as a possible marriage partner, he decided to become a Catholic, and he did. And he had a life threatening accident, and his baptism became sort of evolved into a true conversion, and he became a very serious believing Catholic, and he felt called to the priesthood. And so the film talks about his life leading up to his decision to become a priest and what happens after. And that's all I'm going to tell you because I do want you to go see it. It's a very good movie. Mark Wahlberg does a good job. I'm a big fan of Mark Wahlberg, and I think mainly it's because he's a short guy, and I'm a short guy as well. In fact, I'm probably a couple of inches shorter than Wahlberg. But there's something about short guys. We have that syndrome, where you just sort of try harder and you're more aggressive. And I get that from Wahlberg, but I like him. I think he's a good actor. He's very serious about being an actor, and he does a good variety of things. And he's very good in this movie. I was surprised. So, I mean, even though I like him and I think that he's good, I was surprised that he put so much into this. And let's see if he gets some awards or nominations for next year. I don't know. But I hope the film does well for his sake. Mel Gibson plays his father. An actress named Jackie Weaver, who is fairly well known, plays his mother. They are both extremely good. And the rest of the people in the cast are names that I'm not familiar with. So it's not going to mean that much to me to talk about them. I need to do a little investigation. So the film is it's meaningful to me because I'm also a believing, practicing Catholic. I'm not going to say that I'm a good one because I'm not, but I believe in it and I participate in the religion. So there were a lot of things about it that I felt a strong connection with. And there were scenes in the movie where, as this man's life was going through all sorts of trials, he was angry with God, yelling at God, and I really understood that, and it just resonated with me very strongly. And I thought that the scenes where he was interacting with other people in the church and other priests, seminarians, I thought that they were done very well and very true to life. Now, some of the drawbacks I see in the film, for one thing, the way the film looks is extremely dark. Now, I don't know if that's because that's the way it was filmed, or if the whoever was running the projector at my local theater just didn't know what he or she was doing. That has happened before. I intend to get this on home video, and then I will be able to see if it was meant to be that dark of a picture. It reminded me of the film that I saw earlier this year, the remake of Nightmare Alley, which was an extremely dark vision. You know, every scene was dark, and I thought that was probably made that way because of the theme. You know, the ideas, what they were portraying. But this film was kind of hard to see in some places. And another complaint I have is that the director chose to film almost, I would say, 75% of the time in facial close-ups, either close-up of one face or two. And it almost seemed like I had the feeling that I was watching a movie on television in the pan and scan format, right? Where things are sort of cut off, where they should have been seen in widescreen, where you can see the entire scene and the room and stuff in the background. That's the way I felt most of the time when I was watching this movie, and I guess that was the intention. I don't know, but it is nice sometimes to see an entire room, you know, when you're doing a scene. So I guess that was a complaint that I had. As the film progressed, let's say the first half of the film was pretty much this man's life as he approached his decision to become a priest, and then the rest of the film was afterward, and it got more dramatic. It almost seemed like it was two different films in a way. Um, some of the scenes came off, the dialogue, the way they were done, and I don't blame the actors. I don't blame Mark Wahlberg, but the way the scenes were done, I had the feeling of television sitcom uh, brief cuts, right? Television sitcom dialogue where everything just, I don't know, it was just, it just had an odd feeling to it for many of the scenes, but it did improve later in the second half. And I'm trying to think of what else I wanted to say. I thought I had something written down here, but oh, Mark Wahlberg and his incredible weight gain for the second half of the film. Um, Pretty scary. I can't believe that some of these actors are still doing this stuff, and it just doesn't look to me like it's an intelligent thing to do. If it were me, I would wear I would put on a fat suit and gobs of makeup. But he wanted to do it realistically, and he did it. It was very believable. So, and one final thing, a lot of people are complaining about the language in the film because they use a lot of profanity, and I have mixed feelings about it. These are very rough people. That this guy and his family, his parents, the way they that's the way they communicate with each other, and I understand that because I come from that kind of background, that working class background, and so it made sense. And there were times when the dialogue that implying something about the religion, which really did make me kind of flinch. I didn't like hearing it, but so I can't say that I support using all that profanity, but it didn't stop me from appreciating the film. Certainly, they could have made the film without it, without any four-letter words at all. Now, it was possible in the American film industry and most of the world film industry up until the late 60s to make believable, dramatic, serious films, even about working class, rough people, without using any profanity. Everything changed in the late 1960s, and all of a sudden it became just necessary to have people be able to say anything they want. Well, I think they could still do it without the language, but that's just the way it is. So that may be off-putting for a lot of people. However, I would say that all things considered, it is a very good film, very moving, and I would recommend it. So I would like to hear what other people have to say if you have seen it and what you think about the language, the way the film looked. Maybe I need to go to the theater and see it again the second time, and maybe I will perceive it differently. The way some of the scenes came off to me, and the way the lighting was. All right, but I do intend to buy it on home video. So thanks a lot for listening, and I will answer any of your questions and your comments. Take care, folks.